everybody, Beauty Queen here. Today we're talking about one of my recent favorite horror movies from 2016 starring the great Barbara Crampton, Beyond the Gates. I love this movie so much and I feel like not a lot of people know about it, but it's such a great throwback to like 80s videos, VHSs and VHS board games. Yeah. So these are the colors that we're going to be working with, and it's like a lot of pinks, a little bit of blue, purple. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's go get ready. All right, so today we're going to be talking about Beyond the Gates, directed by Jackson Stewart and released in 2016. Stars Graham Skipper as Gordon, Brie Grant as Margot, Chase Williams as John, and Justin Welborn as Frank. The film begins with a family in their video store. Years later, we see the two brothers cleaning up the video store so that they can sell it, since their father vanished 7 months prior. Margot, Gordon's girlfriend, arrives at Gordon's father's abandoned house to pack up all of the belongings so that they can put the house on the market. That night, Gordon and Margot decide to go to a bar that Gordon is well aware of and doesn't seem to want to go to, but endures it for her because she's hungry, and they need somewhere to go, and it's local. So while they're there, they end up running into Gordon's brother, John, and his pervert friend, Frank, which is exactly why he didn't want to go there to begin with. So the next day, Gordon and John are wrapped up in cleaning the store. John just so happens to find the key to the father's office that, they've never entered. But so they go inside the office, they find random things, one thing grabs John's attention, and it's a VHS board game that they used to have back in the 80s. And the tape was unmarked, and it was already in the VCR. So they, gave it a play, and some woman named Evelyn, played by Barbara Crampton, appears in the back and in the black and white static TV and starts with an introduction and instructs them to open the game board. And then all of a sudden, this horrible screeching noise and strobing lights start to flicker, and they turn off the TV. But little did they know, they've already started playing the game just by playing the tape. Uh-oh. So after getting caught up at the store, Gordon, not wanting to upset Margot, he decides to invite John over for dinner as an excuse for being late. Eventually, the brothers start discussing the VHS board game that they found in their dad's office, which Margot finds intriguing. Margot suggests that they play it, and John jumps on the idea, although Gordon still remains hesitant. As soon as they pop the VHS into the VCR, the beautiful Evelyn appears right where she left off with the brothers in their father's office. So she has these beautiful big black rimmed eyes, and they only get bigger as the game ensues, and they get darker, and it's beautiful. So the players are instructed to place their pieces on the starting point of the board, and they sit there waiting for further instructions. Evelyn begins to guide them through the game as much as she's allowed. She instructs the blue player, who is Gordon, to stand up in front of the TV. And Evelyn is very elusive with the instructions, and the only thing she can tell the brothers is, "You must go beyond the gates. Only then will your father's soul be saved." This obviously got their attention and realized that this was more than just a game. What they don't know is as soon as you start playing the game, you have to finish it. So that night at 3:12 a.m., Gordon awakes feeling his father's presence. Instead, he's horrified by a black shadow form lurking in his bedroom doorway. Realizing it was just a dream, he continued down the stairs only to find out the TV was on, only playing static. To make things even creepier, he finds a framed picture of Evelyn on the mantel before being startled by Margot, who suffers from somnambulism, by the way, which means she sleepwalks. Then John joins them in the living room randomly, almost like they're being drawn to the area. And this is when they decide to call their cop friend that they grew up with. So the cop arrives. Gordon, John, and Margot try to show him the video with the creepy woman, The only problem is that he doesn't see anything but a bunch of static. As he's leaving, he suddenly has a pain in the side of his head, but makes nothing of it. So Margot, Gordon, and John are completely shocked by this and realize that they have no choice but to play the game, only not knowing what the outcome is. Now they know that there's something sinister about this so-called game, and finally come to the conclusion that they need to obey Evelyn's instructions if they want to finish the game and save their father's soul. So immediately Evan tells the players that a wise man would follow the directions. Finally, they open the box to find a blank piece of paper, when suddenly words start to appear. Their goal is to find the 3 keys that they need to unlock the gate, to go beyond them and save themselves and their father's soul. Next, the brothers go to the store where his father purchased the game years ago, and the man remembers but is reluctant to tell them much about the game and tries to change the subject, like a creep. John was also able to get the knife that they needed. Booyah for John. When they get home, John moves Gordon's piece on the board and it moves back to the starting point. Well, now it's John's turn to pick a card. He flips it over, the Drifter, which leads them into their backyard. They start to dig and find a voodoo doll, and as soon as John cuts the doll open, his friend Frank is being dismembered in a bar because the voodoo doll is his friend Frank, and his innards are all over the place. So then they place the key that John found in the doll on the board game, and you hear a door unlock in the basement. So they head down to investigate, and they find a gate that's never been there before. But now they realize that they have to save themselves. They have to, finish the game. So Gordon decides to throw the game into the trash for Margot's sake, only to end up on the table exactly how it was. Creepy. So, Margot is doing some investigating of her own, and she tracks down the store's owner, and he pretty much tells you, yeah, you're screwed. So this is the final look. This is the outfit. Feels super 80s. It's like an 80s movie, but not an 80s movie. It's the final look for Beyond the Gates. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's an awesome movie. It's total throwback to 80s board games, VHS games. And thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to see more. And I will see you next time.